The Columbia House Music Club used to give away stacks of vinyl, CDs, and tapes for a penny. How could they possibly have made any money off of this? Well, the truth is actually pretty ugly. I'll explain coming up next. Hi, my name is Frank. Welcome back to channel 33 RPM, your channel for vinyl, gear, and more. Recently, I did a video on the rise and fall of the Columbia House Music Club. If you missed that episode, you really should check it out. I will leave a link below this video. In today's episode, I want to take a closer look at the music club's business model. I mean, these guys were giving away tons of free music. They had a massive marketing budget. Customers were ripping them off left and right, yet they were reaping millions of dollars in profits. What gives? Before we get too far into this, let's look at a quick history of Columbia House. As I explained in my last video, the roots of Columbia House can be traced back to the 1950s, when the Columbia record label started a mail order service for records. As technology changed, so did Columbia House's offerings over the years, including reel-to-reel tapes, 8-tracks, cassettes, CDs, and movies. During its heyday in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, Columbia House members got a stack of albums for a penny. Then they had to buy a few more at an inflated list price, plus shipping to fulfill their membership agreement. The arrangement worked. By 1994, Columbia House and its rival BMG, formerly known as the RCA Music Service, sold 15% of all CDs in the US. It was common for customers to sign up for these music services, get all their free albums, then disappear, only to resurface a short while later under a new name and order all those free albums again. And judging by the comments on my last video, more than a few of you were guilty of doing this. So how did Columbia House do this? How did they get so huge by giving so much away? Well, there are actually several reasons. First, Columbia House was ruthless with its negative option billing model. After the initial excitement of getting all those free albums, customers were offered a selection of the month. If you didn't expressly let Columbia House know you did not want that album, it would automatically show up in your mailbox. And if you didn't pay for it, or if you forgot to pay, you would start getting harassing phone calls and letters from a collection agency. Trust me, I remember those phone calls. It was like some sort of mafia arrangement. Second, and this is where things start to get really interesting, Columbia House didn't pay royalties to artists on the albums it gave away. Those were considered free goods. In other words, Darius Rucker made nothing from that Hootie and the Blowfish album you got for free. Artists didn't love this arrangement, but it did give them a lot of exposure, and it helped bands secure gold and platinum records. That's because all those freebies counted to overall album sales. Further, until 2006, Columbia House and BMG never actually bothered getting written licenses to distribute the records they peddled. Instead, the clubs saved the hassle by paying publishers a fraction of the standard royalties. If the publishers cashed these checks, it created what is known as an implied license. In other words, by taking the money, music publishers implied that the music clubs had been granted a license to sell the albums. This was a bit of a legal loophole for the music clubs. Unethical? Yes. Dirty? Yes. Illegal? No. In his 2004 book, author Jeffrey P. Hull estimated a single CD cost music clubs between $1.50 and $5.50. In turn, they sold them for $16 or more plus shipping. How did they keep their profit margin so high? Well, in addition to everything I've mentioned, Columbia House also manufactured their own records, cassettes, and CDs using master tapes supplied by the labels. The math worked in the favor of the record clubs, even if they were being ripped off by customers. Keeping costs down enabled them to make millions and millions of dollars. Interestingly, some people did get caught ripping off Columbia House. They took the whole concept of free music to a whole different level. In March of 2000, Joseph Parvin of New Jersey, USA, admitted to using 16 post office boxes to fleece Columbia House and BMG out of more than 26,000 CDs, valued at $350,000, according to the New York Times. This happened between 1993 and 1998. And David Russo, also according to the Times, pleaded guilty in 1999 to stockpiling 22,000 CDs using a similar scheme. He sold the CDs at flea markets. Of course, nowadays, these music clubs are long gone, replaced by music streaming and downloading. And while Columbia House's business practices weren't always ethical, as a customer, it was a lot of fun getting 8 or 10 albums in the mail. And now you know the truth in terms of how Columbia House was able to pull it off. Alright, 33ers, a quick look at the Columbia House business model. Remember, if you missed my first video, do check it out. I will leave a link in the description below this episode. If you dug today's episode, I would appreciate a quick thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? I post a new video every Sunday and many Fridays as well. Dear 33ers, thank you for tuning in. Have a great week. Until next time, keep on spinning.